108 minutes to quarantine failure. Master caution.
0.
Reset. No current
2.
alarms. Vault temperature within
5.
normal parameters. Vault pressure
2.
within normal parameters.
0.
Vault humidity within normal parameters.
1.
Vault integrity test
3.
report secured.
2. 1. 0. 0.
Talk show.
We'll do it live!
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Manual override achieved. For station uplink, enter 3, 2.
Hello, I'm Sergeant Drano, and you're listening to a communication from Station 7, or The Door. Station 7 is a sociological experiment in progress for members of the Dharma Initiative and fans of Lost and The Walking Dead. So we're going to go ahead and open up our lines for anyone who wants to communicate.
Opening communications channel. Waiting.
Well, Lost is over.
Satellite uplink established.
But it turns out, Damon and Carlton's prediction was true.
What's really fun is to actually have a character back who is dead, but isn't really dead.
When someone dies on Lost, they're dead. And that's really it. Like, we're not trying to be sneaky and they're going to come back as a zombie.
Year 7, you're going to regret that zombie comment.
I am really going to regret that. Year 7 is actually, the subtitle is Lost Zombies. And it's just everybody who we've killed off over the years coming back and trying to eat.
It'll be cool. It'll be like Stephen King.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
So today we're going to react to episode 37 of the hit series on AMC, The Walking Dead. The title of the episode is Infected. We'll rate the episode, give our initial thoughts, critique things a bit, and follow that up with the Walker of the Week, Roger Ward, and our survival scenario. Next, we'll make some predictions for what we think might happen next. These predictions will be spoiler-free and will not make any reference to the comic book series that The Walking Dead is based on. Finally, we'll compare and contrast between the TV series and the comics in our 3-minute spoiler section. So without further ado, let's get to it. But first, a word from our sponsors.
This week's episode is sponsored by the amazing Chinese shovel. Think it's just a shovel? No! It slices, dices, digs, picks, parries, pliers, screws, hammers. It's the only tool you'll ever need. Much more than a shovel. It's the amazing Chinese shovel.
Okay, let's see who we've got on the line for this evening.
Incoming transmission from Locutus aboard.
Hey, Locutus, how's it going?
Great. How are you, Mr. Drano? Sergeant Drano? Professor Drano? Rabbi Drano?
Rabbi? As a matter of fact, my wife has a mail addressed to Rabbi, whatever her name is. Yeah, she did it as a lark. I don't know what's that. Not too bad, not too bad. A little nippy here today. How about up north, near the wall?
Pretty good, I think.
Okay. Good. Ready to talk about some Walking Dead?
Sure.
Well, let's see.
I'm ready. I've got some great notes.
Okay. Who else we got?
Incoming transmission from Methodic John.
Hey, Methodic John, how's it going?
Hello, everybody. It's going good. I'm excited to talk about the episode.
Okay. You sound a little bit tired there.
Oh, you know. The kids can be messy sometimes. Zap your life force.
Everybody dreaming of sugar plums by now?
I hope so. We'll see. If I vanish, nothing personal.
No problem. Understood. Who else we got up there?
Incoming transmission from Mr. Bad.
Hey, Mr. Bad, how are you today?
Excellent, Sergeant. How you doing?
Not too shabby, not too shabby. I hear you're back to work at this point. The government shutdown is over.
Yeah, the government shutdown is over, and I am again getting paid for not doing any work for the government, yes.
Congratulations. You have my utmost respect and envy. So. All right, ready to talk about Walking Dead?
Oh, I think somebody else is on the line.
Incoming transmission from Mike.
Hey, Mike, or should I say Michael? Michael. How's it going, Michael?
Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going, dude? How about you? Are you tired? Like, without kind of tired?
Yeah, I'm pretty tired.
Oh. You gonna make it? You gonna make it through?
I hope so. If I, fall asleep during, the phone, just, mute me or something.
Well, just let us know if you start to feel like you need to throw up, and we'll excuse you, and you can go take a shower.
Okay.
And fall down and turn into a zombie.
If you had a waterproof cell phone, you could be in the bath right now.
Yeah, or on the toilet taking one of those things. I don't think we've done that on the podcast yet. That'll be the first.
If we were all in the same hot tub together, that would be Station 7 terrific, yes.
Okay, gang, you ready to get started?
Ready to go.
Okay, let's go on with the first thing we got, wherever the heck that is. Okay, infected. It is night. We see somebody feeding rats to zombies at the fence. Inside, Tyree sings to expendable Karen, but she cockblocks him. On her way to the showers, Karen sees a child's picture of zombies, including Zombie Nick. She gets to the showers and washes up. She hears a noise and looks around, but amazingly enough, does not get killed by a zombie. After she leaves, we see Zombie Patrick sit up, and Karen beds down in cell block D, while Zombie Patrick staggers along outside. He pauses at Karen's cell, but then hears Mustache Guy cough and goes into his cell instead and noms him in the throat. Then he spends all night ripping Mustache Guy's guts out. The next morning, Mustache Guy reanimates and becomes Zombie Mustache. And he and Zombie Patrick stagger out to attack more guys. Glenn and Maggie are on watch in one of the towers, and Maggie is asleep, so Glenn takes a creepy picture of her. Rick and Carl see off Michonne, and Michonne asks Carl why he doesn't wear his hat, and Carl says it's not a farming hat. As Michonne rides out, Rick and Carl do some farming. Rick tells Carl what happened to him with the Irish woman in the previous episode.
I was ambushed by black Irish when I was a young officer. Black as bog. Badly ambushed. Would have man. Not have Irish tricks. My God, I will not. Never.
I know the actor that plays Rick is British. He really needs to work on that American accent. But, Carl tries to get Rick to let him go do dangerous stuff, but Rick ain't having it. Carl wants his gun back, but Rick blows him off. Suddenly they hear shooting, and Michonne rides back towards the gate, and Rick runs for the prison buildings. Carl opens the gate for Michonne, but some zombies get in with her. Michonne tries to fight them off, but trips over a rope and falls down, twisting her ankle. Carl takes one out with a rifle. Maggie gets Michonne back inside, and inside the prison it's chaos. Numerous zombies are reanimated and are attacking people. Bearded Guy gets bit on the arm, so Carol starts to perform an emergency amputation, but then realizes he was also bitten on the neck. Bearded Guy gets Karen to promise, Bearded Guy gets Carol to promise to take care of Lizzie and Mika, and Carol agrees to call them Sophia 2 and 3. Rick, Daryl, and the rest... Rick, Daryl, and the rest manage to take out the walkers. Herschel and Rick notice that Patrick and expendable Charlie don't have any marks and have hemorrhaging in the face. Dr. Caleb concludes that it's probably some kind of flu. Maybe it's swine flu. Back in the cell, Carol brings in Sophia 2 and 3 to say goodbye to Bearded Guy. Sophia 2 wants to kill her father with a knife, then chickens out, so Carol stabs him through the ear. Outside, Rick greets Michonne, Maggie, and Carl and tells them about Patrick and the infection. Carl apologizes for using a rifle to kill a zombie at the gate. Rick tells them to keep back to make sure they don't catch the infection. The council meets and decides to quarantine anyone who is sick. Expendables Karen and David are coughing, so they get quarantined. Carol talks to the Sophias, but Sophia 2 is upset that they killed zombie Nick and runs away. Rick and Daryl dig graves, while Rick discovers that guns are useful things to have. Daryl encourages Rick to be leader again, but Rick says he's not cut out for it. Suddenly, Maggie yells that the zombies are starting to push the fence over. They rush over and desperately start killing zombies as fast as they can. Inside, Judy is playing with red Solo cups, while Beth fixes up Michonne's leg. Judy starts crying and pukes on Beth, so Beth gets Michonne to hold her. Judy glares at Michonne suspiciously as the woman weeps openly. Outside, the fight continues. Sasha notices that someone has been feeding rats to the zombies. The fence starts to buckle. Rick has an idea and tells Daryl to get the truck. Inside, Carl is making a grave marker for Patrick, but it turns out he's an atheist. Carol asks Carl again if Carl will keep story time a secret, but Carl is noncommittal. Outside, Rick and Daryl have driven the truck outside the fence. Rick starts laying out a trail of bleeding piglets like Reese's Pieces to lead the zombies away from the fence. Infected pig blood spatters on his face as Maggie and Glenn brace the fence up again. Afterwards, Carol tells Sophia 2 not to feel bad about Nick, puts a flower in her hair, and gives her a knife. Rick takes apart his pig pen and sets it on fire. Carl tattles to Rick about story time, but Rick says he won't interfere. Then he gives Carl his gun back and buckles on his own gun, too. Finally, Rick takes off his awesome shirt and throws it in the fire. He notices more walkers gathering at the fence. That night, Tyrese goes to check on Karen, but finds the quarantine cell empty with a bloody trail leading out of it down a hall and outside. Tyrese follows the trail and finds Karen and David burned corpses. Okay, so what did you guys think of this episode? How many stars did you give it? Methodic John.
I gave it 8 stars. Pretty good. Maybe 8.5. 8.5. I'll go up to 8.5.
Well, you liked it quite a bit. I think last week you only gave 7.
Yeah, and you know why? The main reason I gave it 8.5 was because the fence almost fell down, and I just felt like, really, that fence needs to fall.
Do you think it's going to come all the way down eventually, or has it gotten down enough to satisfy you?
It's good for now. It would be, it would be disappointing if it fell for good, but I mean, in the crazy world we live in with all of these walkers, it's a little surprising they somehow haven't, knocked the fence down yet.
Okay, good deal. And how about you, Mr. Bad? What do you rate this episode?
Oh, I'm in very much agreement with Methodic John. I'll give it, between an 8, 8.5. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the season opener a lot more. I thought there was a couple of nits, and this one I'll get into later. There was a couple of acting scenes I thought were a little bit weak, but generally I really enjoyed it, and very excited to sleuth into who disposed of those 2 sick people, and did they actually kill them, or did they just drag their dead bodies out? I'm very interested in finding that out.
It's funny. Before I saw the preview for the next episode, my first thought was actually that David had died, that Karen knew that she was going to die too, and to prevent infection, I thought that maybe she dragged David out and then burned both of them. for herself and David. But apparently from the preview, I guess that's not the case.
I haven't seen the preview, but I wasn't quite sure whether or not they died and somebody just found them and, in the turmoil of the fence and other stuff going on, they just didn't mention that they needed 2 more graves. But, I for dramatic effect, it almost has to be that someone killed them. Otherwise, so I'm very interested in speculating in those regards. I'll just let you know, Mr. Good couldn't make it, but he rated it an 8 also. Thought it was a fairly solid episode and pretty good.
Okay. And how about you, Lotus? What would you rate this episode?
I gave this a 9 this time.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, last time I gave a 7. This time I'm giving a 9. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
It was because it was the all-singing episode. And started off with Tyrese singing a Frank Sinatra number, and I thought that was pretty neat. Got You Under My Skin, which really went with the episode. And then we had Beth singing at the end to the baby.
Yeah,
and
nice. Yeah.
Some good interaction that I really liked.
Oh, cool. Okay. And what about you, Michael? How would you rate this episode?
I'd give it an 8 or 8.5 because I haven't given too much thought on this, just so you know. I think it was a good episode. I think it explained a lot more with the previous episode. I think a lot more went to hell, and Rick lost his pigs, apparently. So.
Okay. Cool. And I myself, I actually rated this episode a little lower for some reason than last episode. I gave it a 7. I mean, still thought it was pretty good, but I don't know. It didn't have too much in the way of standout moments for me. So I gave it a 7. Just kind of a regular solid episode for me. Let's see. Okay. What worked and didn't work for you guys in this episode? How about you, Bathak John? What worked and didn't work?
What worked was, I think, I think what worked was them continuing to maintain the suspense successfully throughout the show. I mean, I felt like it was pretty suspenseful throughout the episode. Really didn't know how things were going to play out. I felt like, I think we can all say sometimes in the past it's been pretty predictable. So I thought that worked pretty well.
Right.
I think what didn't work was trying to ask the kids to kill their dad. I think, that would just be a no-go. You shouldn't really kind of go down that path.
Well, it was the little girl's idea. Carol didn't actually ask them to. The little girl came up with it. She was like, he's our dad. We should do it. And then she's like,
yeah, that sounds great in theory.
Sounds like a good idea that a child would have, but maybe not.
Yeah, it seemed kind of. I felt like the writers kind of forced that scenario a little bit much on that.
Okay. What worked and didn't work for you, Mr. Bad?
I really like that little scene with Michonne and Beth and the baby. I thought it was a little weird at first when she was reacting so strongly to the baby's crying. At first I thought maybe she had gotten rabies or something. Sometimes, I know people when they hear real high-pitched sounds or something, if you have rabies, that can make you a little crazy. But then when she was holding the baby and broke down, I thought that was a key moment. And actually I'm looking forward to finding out more if she had a baby at one time and lost it, or finding more about her personal life. And I just like the fact that Michonne is actually sort of opening up now. She's talking. She's still a loner in some regards. She's still determined to find the governor. But, I really like... And I had this sneaking suspicion that her and Rick are getting it on in the well, I was going to say the pig farm, the shed, but now that's burned down, so they'll have to find some other place to have a love tourist, get together.
You think even now they're getting it on?
I had that illusion that they were friendly, that they may have, gotten their rocks off, quickly somewhere. What else was smart? Things I liked. I really enjoyed Rick feeding the pigs to the zombies. You know, I thought at that point, hey, smart thing. You know, the pigs might be the source of infection. You got to kill them anyway. As you saw, Rick eventually burn the whole pig farm. So you might as well, use them in an emergency, at least for a temporary respite from the zombies.
That is true.
But, Mr. Good particularly liked. What did he particularly like? He liked the panic scene when the zombies. People discovered the zombies eating people in the morning. He thought that was pretty good.
Okay, that's cool. Just going back to that Michonne scene for a second. What I kind of drew from that is that she probably did lose a child, because they were just talking about. Beth was just talking about, why don't they have a name for, parents who lose children? They got names for, they got orphans and they got widows, but they don't have a name for when a parent loses a child. And then right after that is when we got Michonne holding the baby and crying. So I think they were implying that she had lost a child. Did anybody else get that same thing from it there?
I agree.
Yeah.
I would agree too. Yes, I thought that was very strong, and yes, that's what I got out of it. The impact.
Okay.
Actually, I took something different out of it.
What did you take out of it?
I took out of it that she really wanted to kill that child, but she just couldn't bring herself to do it.
I like the way you
said
that, John.
Yeah. I definitely got that. I had a kid previously vibe.
No, you're right. She just literally likes to kill children. That's why she killed the governor's kid, right?
Exactly.
She just loves to use that sword on children.
Exactly.
Okay, Locutus. What worked and didn't work?
Let's see. I really liked the noisy zombies. Seems like zombies everywhere this episode were just really noisy, making lots of extra noise. The singing was good. And there was nice interaction between the characters. Rick and Carl had a lot of good interaction. Michonne and the baby had a lot of good interaction. That's the most emotion we've seen by Michonne probably in the whole series. Let's see. The things I didn't care for, wasn't sure about the first mustache guy, why he didn't seem to react at all to the zombie biting your neck. I don't know. I think I would at least maybe whimper a little bit. I don't know. Move a little bit.
So he couldn't make any sound, right? But you're right. He didn't thrash around or anything. Or nothing.
Yeah, there was just nothing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it was just supposed to be just a silent kill. I guess
he was really tired.
Yeah, he must be really sleepy, and couldn't figure out where all these hundreds and hundreds of people were coming from. Just like last week, they had maybe 30. This time it was like hundreds of people. And still only 7 or 8 helped with the gate. That just didn't seem right. There was a girl who died in the initial attack. I thought that was Beth. I guess because we hadn't seen Beth yet, and I thought that was her for sure. And it was just another girl that looked like her, I guess. Or maybe it was just my eyes, but it really looked like that.
It was Beth too.
It was Beth too, yes. Sophia too, Beth too. I thought the part with the pigs, I thought they could have just made some noise, or just how Rick showed people how to put a little bit of your own blood on the fence. Why couldn't they just put a little bit of their own blood on another part of the fence without even having to go outside and risk all that? The zombies would have just moved down to the other part of the fence. I just thought they could have solved that so much easier. But I know they had to show the part about the pig. But
yeah, I was kind of wondering about that myself, or even just like themselves just going to another part of the fence and like yelling at the zombies and just kind of waving at them to get them to go over there.
Like noise, yeah, or a helicopter. Yeah.
It was trying to get rid of the pigs for since he might have thought that they were carrying the disease.
Yeah, well, yeah, they did have to get rid of the pigs anyway. But, I mean, it took longer to do that than it would have to just, run down to another section of fence and go, hey, zombies, over here.
Yeah.
So
that's mine. That's my take. That's my good
Okay.
thing.
All right. Michael, what you got for what worked and didn't?
Things that worked, I thought, I agree with other people, they said suspense. I thought, this whole episode was, really suspenseful. You didn't really know what was going to happen. You saw previews in the other one. And they had a lot of episodes. So that's the stuff that I thought worked. That's the only thing. Some that didn't work,
yeah.
I didn't like the dialogue with, what did you call them, the Sophias or something?
Yeah.
Is that what you called them?
Liz
Yeah.
and Micah, or Mika.
Yeah, Mika. Yeah, Lizzie and Mika. Kind of a weird name for a girl, but whatever.
I thought that they're just kind of weird. I didn't really get what the point they were trying to get across with them. Another thing, I didn't really like how they injured Michonne. I thought that if they just opened the gate and closed the gate, they would have been fine.
Yeah.
But she has to, get off a horse and, I don't know, charge 2 zombies.
Yeah, some of the zombies took her unawares and she tripped over some rope that was kind of conveniently at ankle level, and then I guess got a hamstring or something. Charlie horse. I don't know. Yeah, that was a little bit. I can understand why Michonne would be embarrassed about that because it was pretty silly. Okay, and for my work, what worked and didn't work, I kind of liked the seeing the process of how one zombie can sort of infect people and turn into more zombies before people really realize what's going on. It was seeing the process of infection.
That was good.
It was almost,
yeah.
It was like seeing how the zombie apocalypse happened, but on a miniature scale, kind of. So I liked that. Although I did think it was a little weird that the zombie stayed in that one cell apparently all night long and didn't come out until morning. But whatever. I can kind of hand wave that. For me, what didn't work is. And I guess this is a done issue now, but it bothered me again this episode how Rick and Carl are anti-gun, I guess, until they've decided not to be at the end of the episode. It was just weird when Carl, grabs that rifle to shoot the zombie to save Michonne, and then later he apologizes for having to use that rifle. He's like, sorry, I had to get a rifle and use it to his dad. So to me, that still kind of bugged me a little bit, but it sounds like they've ended that particular storyline, so that's fine by me. That's what I've got. So what was the smartest and dumbest things for this episode? I thought, John. You want to go change the order up?
I don't know. It's fine. Smartest thing was using a gun. I think dumbest thing was, I don't know if I got burning down the shed. I just felt like, wouldn't that be potentially more of an attraction for bad people and more zombies? You know what I mean? It's not sound, but at the same time, I always feel like in every other movie, in every other scenario, basically, doing a signal fire is great if you want to get people's attention, but bad if you're trying to stay below the radar.
Well, they were trying to destroy any infection, right?
I get that, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's runoff, right? I don't know if you're really gonna. I think it'd been better to shovel up everything and move it somewhere else, and then burn it maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just felt like you. I don't know.
Or just bury it somewhere. Even.
Yeah, I just didn't feel like, and they didn't burn everything. I didn't feel like they burnt everything. They just burnt a little section of it, which to me seems kind of not really efficient. So that I didn't really get.
Okay. All right. Well, how about you, Mr. Bad? What was smartest and dumbest?
Smartest, I think. I thought there were some pretty smart things. You know, I thought Rick and the pigs was pretty smart. I actually disagree with you about the guns. I thought taking the guns away and from himself and from Carl was critical in sort of getting a good reason about how they actually transformed from where they had been. You know, one of the themes of last week was, can you come back from what you've done? And I thought it was very important for both Rick and especially for Carl. Rick has sort of a model for Carl to show him that, you know, you got to live without a gun. And especially for a little boy, he doesn't yet have the physical power to, you know, dominate others. But, you know, he was a crack shot, so he could kill people. And he had to sort of own up to killing that boy. And I thought by taking the gun away and forcing him just to, you know, to do the daily things, you know, in the relative safety they have, I thought that explained a lot of the transformation of Carl from the bitter, angry, you know, Shane kind of son to Rick's son. But so I thought that was smart in the sense of the plot. The smartest thing I'll just say was Glenn taking the picture of his hot little girlfriend, you know. You know, the dumb thing was making it a noisy camera, because he could have got probably some good candid shots, you know.
That way later, after she's dead, he can have a picture of her where it looks like she's dead.
Oh, and the dumbest thing, I was torn between Michonne, like you said, tripping over that rope. You know, that was sort of ham-handed. But I'll just say dumbest in general was that they haven't done more to do tricky things to secure the fence. You know, I think they could have done things in combination of what we've seen, like Merle turning on the music loud or doing something just to temporarily kind of draw them away, that they could do things around the fence that would both minimize the number of walkers who come down their way, and then to try to prevent them from forming critical, you know, overwhelming numbers at certain points. I definitely think that's doable.
I was kind of wondering if they could put one of their vehicles between those two fences and just drive the vehicle over there and park it up against the fence.
That would be a good idea, yeah. You know, especially if they had still had like one of those tall vans or something, yeah, backing up against. Mr. Good thought the smartest thing was, the dumbest thing he thought was them not having anybody watch the two sick people. Supposedly they locked them up in quarantine in the death row area. I guess they were locked in, but they didn't. You know, I mean, these people could need medical attention. You know, where they might be suffocating. So it's like, and they have a doctor and emergent an EMT, the military guy, and Herschel. So they have people who treat them. You should have somebody watching. I'm sure Tyrese would have volunteered. You know.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right about that. To go back a minute to the gun thing, if you think that was an important step, then was there a moral of that story in this episode when Rick gives the gun back to Carl and then puts his own gun back on too? What conclusion do you draw from that little arc?
I took it that Rick is actually accepting, you know, the mantle of leadership, and in a cooperative way, or like his role, that he has to have a role in not just providing or doing what he can, but in actually stepping up and being a leader. And I think he sees that in his son, that his son actually has to take responsibility, that he won't be able to shield him from the horrors of this world, which require sometimes life and death decisions. Because I thought that was a little bit part of it. He did act as if he was trying to, okay, guns are bad, you know, because Carl even was apologizing for shooting, you know, the walker who was trying to kill Michonne.
Right.
When obviously, you know, Rick should have applauded that. But so I thought it was a little turnaround from Farmer Rick saying, okay, I can't just be a pacifist farmer. I can't ignore what's going on, and that means doing everything I can, which means in his case actually being a leader, not the dictator, but a person cooperatively trying to pull the group together.
Mm. But you don't see it as a refutation of their earlier no gun stance?
In as much as you say it was, sort of a pacifist move, and I would say yes, that could represent that. That he, it wasn't just, in my earlier assertion, I thought it was. I sort of gave him credit for a good tactical model for his son and for himself in a healing kind of way. But I think that's important. But I think it's all. You have to agree that he was trying to isolate himself from the sort of life and death decisions that happen every day. And I thought the killings, the zombie killings inside the fence, as well as the death of Crazy Carla outside the fence, both helped to bring that about.
Okay, all right. Most use. What worked and didn't work? I'm sorry, smartest, dumbest.
Oh, smartest, dumbest. Smartest, I think Carl. I think he's definitely back in charge again, and I think I really liked how he went ahead and told his dad everything and talked to him about the children learning weapons and things, and he really was using his brain. And dumbest, I just think Michonne getting off her horse was not very smart. And then just pushing the two zombies together, I didn't think that was going to work. I know she had to do something quick, but it didn't work for me.
Okay. And Michael, what was your smartest, dumbest?
I think I want to start off with dumbest because I don't have much smart. I thought dumbest, and I kind of forgot to say something in the last section. Things that worked and did work.
Sure.
But let's say that there's like 200 zombies on the fence, like for an entire episode. So you think in one day, like with 5 fence clears, that you could kill more than 200 zombies, like at the rate they're doing it, and yet like the fence is like in jeopardy. I thought that's kind of stupid. And like the walkers are like coming out of the ground now and like growing on trees.
Yeah, I mean, it does kind of feel like, I mean, if they got like just about everybody that was able to, and that was at that prison, and put them at that fence, just killing zombies as soon as they came up to the fence, you wouldn't think the zombies would be able to, keep coming forever. You'd think that they would eventually just run out of all the zombies in that area. So it does feel a little.
Two words: electric fence.
Would that have an effect on a zombie? We don't even know.
Well, in the you guys know the video game Walking Dead?
I have it.
Oh, okay.
I think you remember? Did you play it yet? Sorry, I'm like going off topic here.
Yeah, I played it. Yeah, they do use the electric. They do use an electric fence against zombies, and it works pretty well.
Which game is that again? Which the
Walking Dead is the Telltale game thing.
Oh, the Telltale game. Cool.
Okay. The dumbest things I thought, like someone else said, they left the people in quarantine alone, and I don't really get who was in quarantine or not. Like if Karen was in quarantine, then why wasn't Rick in quarantine? You know what I mean?
They only put the ones in that were coughing, I think.
Oh, that would make sense. But so where did they put him again? They put him in death row.
They mentioned death row. I'm not sure if they actually put him in death row or just some kind of other section that was cleaned out, but I don't know that it really matters why.
No, it's just because there was this one block that had like, I don't know, it just had like a lot of blood in it. Okay, my smartest thing, I thought that Rick is pretty smart holding off the gun from Carl, because I think he took it away maybe because he shot the boy or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it might have just been like a step down, because with a gun you can do a lot more. But I think you still have to have a gun when you need it. So
yeah,
I think they were the developers were really trying to get something across with that.
Okay. Cool. And let's see. My smartest was using the piglets to draw the zombies away from the set. Even though it seems like at the end of the episode, I guess the zombies are right back again. I guess after they finished off the pigs, they're back to the vents again. So maybe that was only a temporary solution. And my dumbest basically was just Rick not carrying a gun, since he was, basically pretty unprepared when they had that crisis in the prison. But hopefully that's been resolved at this point since these guys go back on. Questions raised by this episode. Obviously, who burned Karen and David, and who is feeding the zombies? Does anybody think of any other questions raised by this episode, or anybody want to try to take some stabs at some answers to those two questions? Just jump in.
The governor.
The governor?
Yeah.
The governor burned Karen and David, or the governor did what?
Probably the rat feeder, and probably maybe burned them. I don't know. Of course, there was a lot of blood, so it makes me think that maybe they were already not alive anymore.
What if the governor's like hiding out in the bushes and it's like growing zombies, and that's where they're all coming from, and he's also eating off of them because he figured out a way to eat zombies, and every night he climbs over the fence and he feeds the rats to the zombies.
Huh.
That's
could happen.
That's my question. Yes.
So is Daryl's saliva still on the table, or are we going to have to retire that particular theory?
I think we have to retire that. I think they clearly stated that it was some sort of swine flu. I think Mr. Good was right about the swine flu, or something like a nasty swine flu. I think that sort of points to who the possible culprits are, to who may have killed David and Karen and burned their bodies, because I think it would be someone, for dramatic effect, it has to be someone we've seen, a named character.
Uh-huh.
I think the people with medical experience, that gives you Herschel, and he might have a good motivation, because originally back on the farm, his worldview is completely turned 360 degrees. He thought this was a curable kind of thing, and now it's not curable, and now there's imminent disease threatening his family and everybody else.
Uh-huh.
I thought the guy whose name I don't know, who was the military EMT medical
Bob.
person. Yeah,
Bob.
the African American guy who looked like he had a drinking problem. If he had a drinking problem, maybe he has something. He's drinking to forget. Maybe he has some other issues there.
Yeah.
Maybe he, panicked or something. And then, of course, there's Dr. S, they were calling him.
Dr. C. I think his full name is Caleb. Dr.
Caleb, yes. He's the doctor. He may have, taken steps to prevent a massive infection. Because, it's not just a quick infection. It's deadly. And it's,
right.
4 people caught it in the period of 2 days, possibly. And the person who I mostly suspect, I would say it would be Carol. She's acting, very much like a person. Yeah, she's teaching, the kids on her own how to knife. She's really, expressing a survivalist mentality to those 2 girls. To Liz especially, saying, you're weak. It's about time someone told you you're weak and you need to get strong to survive. But that was a little cruel. Right after her dad gets bit and dies, and just because she can't stab her own, dad in the head with a knife. And she had some other things like that make me suspect that she might actually take it on her own to do such a drastic step. She's my lead character.
Oh, okay.
I can say something here. I don't think Cal did it. And I think if a main, character did it, it would really be a big story twister if we found out who it was. I think it might be not a completely, meat shield character, but a little bit in between. Maybe one of those new doctors that's probably not going to die but nice. I think that we don't really know what their background is, and that might be the bad thing.
Right.
So I think they did it.
Yeah, maybe that Caleb guy, he's probably the least established character at this point.
Bob, though, especially because he really brought about the whole. You can blame him for the whole catastrophe in the food warehouse. You know, he was the one who put the booze down and broke it, and then got himself trapped, and then somebody freed him, and then the other guy got trapped, and.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Let's see. I don't have a quote for this week. Does anybody have any good quotes?
I wrote one down. Anybody else have one?
I started to, and then Rick had something that was kind of good, but then I just it wasn't that all that great. So.
I like Daryl's quote to Rick. I see when the shit hits, you're there with the shovel. You know, that was pretty blunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one I was about to write, but I don't know.
Okay. And sure enough, he's holding a shovel. Perfect.
Yeah. But if it was a Chinese shovel, I would have wrote it down.
Damn right.
You could have used the Chinese shovel to kill Karen and Sam and then bury them. As well as slice some cheese and pepperoni up for a farewell wake.
That's right. Oh, boy. Okay.
It is weird they're checking the zombies also to see if there's wounds on the zombies. I don't know. I don't know how you would tell with all the blood and guts and I don't know.
Okay. Excuse me. Anybody else for quotes, or shall we move to the Walker of the Week? Sounds like it's time for Walker of the Week. Walker of the Week. Okay, this is the segment where we each give our favorite Walker of the Week. Well, we give the award to some person that we think behaved in a manner no better than a Walker. So, since Methodic John doesn't like to go first, who gets your Walker of the Week award, Mr. Bad?
Oh, I thought there were two good zombies. I'll pick one. I'll say the zombie who got pressed against the fence and his eyeball popped out. I thought that was great.
That's pretty great. Yeah, that was pretty great.
Mr. Good thought his Walker of the Week was a person. He thought Liz acted no better than a Walker by, caring more about the dead, Nick, the zombie, than her dad.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah. Sophia 2. Okay.
Yes.
I was like, Liz, who's that? Oh, yeah, Sophia 2. Okay. And look at this.
I said the Walker of the Week was the unknown rat feeder person.
That is also my Walker of the Week.
Okay.
Zombie. Yes, good deal. Michael, what's your Walker of the Week?
I don't know if Steve said it or not. Steve, were you talking about the zombie that got pushed by all the other zombies into the fence and cut him up?
Yeah, whose eyeball sort of
was that
popped
the one
out.
Eyes?
I didn't see his eyes pop out, but I saw the fence go through his face. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was. You got to watch that again because his eyeball actually pops through one of the chain links in the fence. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty great moment. We'll move on to our Roger Award.
Roger, and there's a lot to get done before you can afford to lose me. Roger. We got this, man. We got this by the ass. Roger, move! Let's go, baby. You all right? Perfect, baby. Perfect. Roger! Roger, watch it! Dennis, whoa!
Okay, and this, of course, is a section where we each give an award to the character we think kicked the most ass, but who also we think has a chance of getting killed off at some point during the story, or who might have even gotten killed off in this episode. So who gets your Roger Award, Mr. Bat?
By the way, I love this award. It's truly fitted for the zombie apocalypse where people die all the time. Lots of Roger Awards being handed out.
It also keeps people like Rick from getting it every week. Or Daryl.
Yes. It's a quirky, crazy coincidence. Both Mr. Good and Mr. Bad are in agreement, which is a little dangerous. We both agree that Karen gets the Roger Award for being so kick-buttish on the killing zombies on the fence and having an intimate relationship with Tyrese, our zombie killer who doesn't like to kill, or he's a little squeamish. but who unfortunately got whacked by some mysterious person in the prison.
Alrighty. And how about you, Lokius? Roger Ward.
I gave it to Beth this time.
Oh.
I thought she was pretty cool with it.
She killed.
She didn't kill any zombies, but she was pretty cool with the baby, and but I think she might buy it here sometime because I thought she bought it. I thought she was dead, but she wasn't. So I think she might be the next to go.
Oh, that person that looked like Beth, maybe that was foreshadowing.
Maybe it was. I don't know.
So who's the better singer, Tyrese or Beth?
Beth, but I like his song better. I like the Frank Sinatra song.
Okay. And Michael, who gets your Roger Award?
I would say, as in general, a group, and this group not including the main characters, the fence cleaners get my Roger Award.
Oh, okay.
That if the fence falls, they're going to be right under it, and they're all going to get squished and eaten.
That's true. It's especially brave when they were trying to hold the fence up with their hands up against the fence. That was kind of
they didn't really work.
Maneuver. Brave. Mrs. Drano says she doesn't think that was brave. Might have been one of those smartest, dumbest things. Okay, and I'm going to give my Roger Award to Carol because I think she has been sort of autonomously acting in, a fairly sensible and, reasonable way, but, kind of doing what needs to be done and making sure people get knowledge that they need. And also working with those two girls, to try and kind of get their heads screwed on right. So Carol gets mine. And she also was acting pretty quickly and sensibly during the zombie attack when she was getting ready to amputate Bearded Guy's arm, but then decided that she couldn't. Does anybody know what Bearded Guy's name was? Anybody catch that at all?
Was it Charles?
I think it was John or something. I don't know.
I don't think it was Charles because I think there was another Charles that I think it was Patrick and Charles or Charlie that didn't have any marks on them. And obviously, Bearded Guy had marks on him because he had his arm bitten and stuff. Okay, I guess in that case we can move on to zombie behavior.
I'll take your questions.
There's a man going around taking names.
These creatures cannot be considered. They prey on humans. They do not prey on each other. These creatures are nothing but pure, motorized instruments. We must not be lulled by the concept that these are our family members or our friends. They are not.
It's our family, never kingdom come.
Okay, this is the segment where we make note of any new observations we have regarding zombies. Does anybody have any observations about the zombies this week? I've got a couple, but if somebody else has some, they can go first.
Well, I've got one, but it's probably yours also.
Well, do it. Okay.
Just the way that Zombie Patrick knew to stop at some point without completely eating the other guy. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Ooh, that's pretty. Well, did he stop at some point, or did he just get up and leave when he heard noise coming from somewhere else?
Oh, he had food.
Yeah. But, well, that is an interesting point, because earlier we were saying that if they see food, they focus on the food and won't follow the noise. But I guess that's not necessarily true. But I am trying to remember, did he get up and leave because he heard something, or did he just get up and leave and we don't really know why? Does anybody remember?
Signal detected.
What was that, Michael?
I said I think he just got up and left. I didn't hear anything when it happened.
Okay. I'll have to look at that scene again because that would be interesting if that's the case. Let's see. The only things I had, well, I wrote attracted to noise, but of course we already know that. Well, of course we saw him stop in front of the one cell, but then he moved on when he heard the coughing. He moved towards that sound of a human being making noise. And the only other thing I noted was he spent a long time ripping those guts out. I mean, he must have been in there for like hours ripping those guts out. So I guess they really take their time as far as the gut ripping goes. Anybody else got anything else about that, or shall we move on?
I was just going to say that the zombies seem to be showing some normal, healthy zombie traits, such as following the food source and
Yeah. I guess another thing I noticed was it seemed like once Patrick and Mustache Guy left the cells and started attacking people, we had suddenly way more zombies. It seemed like reanimated and walking around attacking people. It seemed like those people, whoever they attacked, must have reanimated really quick. Did you guys get that impression too?
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
Quicker.
Well, no, it took all night for that one guy.
Well, yeah, it took all night for the one guy, but then in the morning when the two of them go out and start attacking more people, and we start hearing gunshots, and they run in, there's like zombies all over the place all of a sudden,
and then hundreds of people coming downstairs also.
Yeah. Well, a bunch of
It's not very consistent, is it?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Bears looking at it, I guess.
I got the shotgun. I was just or someone just took it from a Chuck shooting at.
Yeah. At least they had guns handy. All right. Let's go into the survival segment.
Give me that dog.
What do you mean?
I mean, give me that dog.
What are you going to do with him? You can't open the door to let him out. The bomb's liable to go off.
The dog's got to go. We're going to need every bit of air to breathe ourselves. After a while, we'll be laying on the floor to get fresh air.
But he's just a little dog. He doesn't breathe.
We can't have him here.
No.
Dog's got to go.
Don't you touch
Give
him.
me that. Wait a minute. Won't do you any good to cry. It's all over. In a little while, you'll be thanking me. Get rid of that dog and it'll help an awful lot.
Oh, my God.
You'll be glad we don't have that extra pair of lungs when you're laying here gasping for breath.
Okay, and your scenario for this week is you are holed up at your base, and people are starting to get sick and die. So, what do you do? What action do you take, Mr. Bad?
Well, I think some of their initial steps were good. You need to isolate people. You need to get people in a clean as possible environment. Move them out of the environment where everybody died.
Yeah.
I think they needed to do smarter things about being aware that when you die, you turn. They should have had carabiners or ropes or just something simple to simply tie without having to lock yourself in the jail requiring a key, something to secure the jail cell so that a zombie wouldn't be able to open it. Something as simple as a up and down latch or something,
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
both of mine on that. Yeah, I mean that's just. It kind of irritates me that they don't secure their cell doors during the night because you never know, what could happen. What defense could give way. In general, they should probably keep those doors closed at night. Yeah.
I was talking to Mr. Good, and he was disappointed they didn't have people, at least one person sort of walking the perimeter, both as a police force, because a lot of these people are strangers, and, you saw when Karen was walking around the bathroom. It's dark, there's a possibility of crimes, and people are, things happen in strange situations. So you want to give the sense to people that they are protected, they are being watched. That sometimes avoids a lot of problems. And watching the fence for something, to happen at night. So I thought.
Well, I gather that they do. I gather that they do post somebody in the tower overnight. Since,
that's the love shack for our intrepid watchmen, Maggie and Chinese boy.
Yes.
But even him, I mean, he was doing a perimeter search in the morning, but it couldn't hurt to take turns to at least sometime during the night check to make sure the fence is secure. There's no raiders. People may find out they're there and try to sneak in and steal stuff.
That's true. I mean, if they're just taking people in, after they ask their 3 questions, it wouldn't be that hard for the governor to have somebody infiltrate into their group, which is maybe what's happened with somebody feeding rats to zombies and whatnot.
And if the governor's still out there, you got to worry about somebody sabotaging your place. If they did the old smear zombie guts on you, you could walk in there with bolt cutters and cut down quite a bit of fence in the night. So you wake up and most of your fence is gone.
What a very devious point, Mr. Bad.
Yeah, you don't want Mr. Bad on the other side.
Yeah. Thankfully, the governor is an idiot, so
Hopefully, Michelle will track him down and make it.
Yeah. Well, he can.
Do what, Michael?
But the governor can really aim.
He can really aim. Yeah, that's right. Well, I'm trying to think. Was he aiming really good?
Killed like 16 people with less than 1 clip.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, he's only good at aiming at his own guys. He's good at killing his own men.
Excellent point.
He has a murderous eye.
I like what Mr. Bad was talking about to kind of zombie-proof or just crime-proof their surroundings. I thought maybe just one strip, maybe doubled over, of duct tape. That way they don't have to close the cell door and they don't have to worry about that locking or anything. But just like one ring of duct tape about waist level, and zombies wouldn't be smart enough to duck and go through it, but a normal person would be.
Okay. What if they like trip or something and then they see you?
Yeah, maybe maybe there's some very small zombies too. So
yeah, or it could be a crippled zombie that's crawling along the floor.
Right, a crawling zombie. Yeah.
So you probably want duct tape at ankle level and then at waist level and then also at neck level. That would probably take care of it. And then all you got to do is kind of bend over and hop.
Right. Or the string with bells, like Gilligan used to put,
Yeah, yes, the bells, yes. Just like they used to protect the beach camp from Ethan when they were expecting Ethan to come in and attack.
Yeah, that was so effective, yes.
Right, well, when we have swimming zombies, then, that can break every bone in your body.
That's right, every bone in your body. Oh, the memories. Okay. But back to the subject at hand. What would you do to survive, Lucas? In this
wow.
People are getting sick.
Probably just what I said. It's kind of like a mosquito net, maybe.
Yeah. Mosquito net.
You know how maybe they need to start doing some of that kind of thing. Maybe putting just some, wearing their masks more, putting some mosquito netting around.
That doesn't really help with people getting sick.
No, I guess it doesn't. I don't know.
The current scenario is people are getting sick in your base. What do you do? Do you leave? Do you stay? Do you just start setting sick people on fire?
I think we'll do like what we do around at school. We'll just put up like signs that say, "Please wash your hands," and things like that.
Okay, that works. You don't go into lockdown?
No, but we have before. We went into lockdown. We went into Code Red,
Put a little
Code
sign
Blue.
in the window that says "sick person in the school." A little sign in the window, "sick person."
Yeah, well, we've had some injuries. We went to Code Blue, Code Red when there could be some violence or lockdown or
a lot of
things like
caffeine.
Huh?
There's a lot of caffeine in Code Red, I believe.
Yes. We have like training things on how to wash your hands, training things on safety, different types of things like that. So why couldn't they just have more training on that? I know Carol's supposed to be taking care of that, but
that's right. Maybe that's the next class.
Right. Or Herschel really could be
42 minutes to quarantine failure.
I guess we better move on. Michael, what would you do in this particular scenario of people getting sick?
I think I would do something similar to what happened. Like, if people are reanimating and they're eating everybody, I would go in and wipe them all out. But Ed, I was thinking yesterday about what ways you could do to solve the securing your own cell door at night. And I thought like this weird, like, what if you made a hole that went through all the cells in a row, and then like you had like a key for each cell, and in case it jammed, like you had like a secure in this hole, and if it jammed, you could crawl into the other hole and get back here. So I don't know.
I like the carabiner idea. I mean, you can get the kind of carabiners that lock close with a little screw thing, a little dial that you screw and unscrew to unlock the carabiner, and you can just put that around the door and tighten the little screw on it so that it won't open, and no zombie's going to be smart or dexterous enough to unopen that thing. So a human, it wouldn't stop a human, but it would stop a zombie, no problem. Because I remember they used carabiners for the gate for a while in season 3, I think. But I think that would be a great option. Probably pick those up at a hardware store.
They just can't reuse old ideas, can they? If they work, you just can't reuse them, you know?
Well, I guess I prefer to think that maybe people just don't like sleeping with the bars completely closed around them. I mean, I guess it's probably more comfortable to have a little curtain up instead, but maybe not the smartest thing. Maybe this will teach them a lesson. Predictions and theories. So let's go.
Dharma Initiative called it the lamp.
This man and his team created a series of equations which tell us with a high degree of probability where it is going to be at a certain point in time.
Event window determined. Extrapolating sound and vision.
Okay, this is the part of the podcast where we each make one prediction about something we think is going to happen by the end of this season. So, Mr. Bad, you got something for us?
I'm going to go out on a limb, as I said earlier, and say that Carol is responsible for the deaths of Karen and David.
Shall we just say that she burned them, since we don't know if they were alive or dead when it happened?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say she actually murdered
Killed them?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Carol killed Karen and David. That's bad. Okay, Locutus, how about you? You got something for us?
No, I really don't have a prediction this time. I can't think of anything.
No. Do you want to make a guess at who is?
I'll do that. I'm going to say Herschel.
Herschel burned them, or Herschel killed them?
I'm just going to say Herschel discovered them both dead and bloody, and before he euthanized them and then burned them.
For simplicity's sake, shall we just say that he burned them?
Yeah, let's say he burned them.
Okay. All right, Michael, what you got for us?
I also don't really have a prediction, but if I was going to say someone that I thought...
You could guess about the rats or about the burned guys or whatever you want.
I could... I'm going to guess about the burned guys.
Okay.
I think that, as I said earlier, someone that is not expendable but isn't really, doesn't have a good background is probably going to... Just drop my animal cracker. Is probably going to... burn them like that doctor or whatever his name was. I think he's going to do it.
Dr. Caleb. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see if that was my prediction. Let's see what I have up here. Okay. My prediction is that Sophia 2, a.k.a. Lizzie, will assume the role that the original Sophia had in the comics. I think they're essentially sort of doing a reversal of the change they made in the comics earlier when they killed off, or in the TV show they made earlier when they killed off Sophia. I think they're kind of replacing Sophia with the Lizzie character. So
is that the retcon in the comics, or is that Sophia in the comics? I got confused.
Say that again, Mr. Beck.
Are you referring to like the twins in the comics? I recall them vaguely.
No. The issue is Sophia is, of course, Carol's daughter in both the comics and in the TV show.
Oh,
and,
okay.
of course, in the TV show, they killed off Sophia, in mid-season 2. But in the comics, Sophia is actually still alive. So a lot of people were wondering, what they were going to do about that. And now, all of a sudden, we have Carol is now, the foster parent for these two girls. And the older one actually kind of reminded me of Sophia the first time I saw her. So I'm thinking that Lizzie may take on the Sophia role.
How do we prove that and give you a point if that comes true?
I guess we'll have to compare it to the kind of stuff that happened in the comics, which is mostly just a sort of a growing relationship between Carl and Sophia, or in this case, it would be Carl and Lizzie. It'd be kind of a growing, not necessarily romantic, but a growing friendship between those two.
Yeah, he seemed to take it hard when Sophia died. So.
Okay, so I guess it's time for our 3-minute spoiler quarantine.
Initiating spoiler quarantine.
I don't really have anything. The only thing I was thinking about was the fact that because they killed Andrea in the TV show, the group no longer has a sniper character. And Andrea, as a sniper character, has featured heavily throughout the comics. It's been something that's kind of gotten them out of hot water time and time again. So I kind of speculate that, they're going to have some other sniper character at some point. That's really all I've got.
What do you mean by sniper?
Somebody who is good at shooting things from far away with a rifle.
I thought you meant okay, that's kind of, okay, I get you.
I think Maggie's kind of filled that role a little bit. She's done a little bit of that.
Has she? I'm trying to think.
Like her and Glenn slipping up in the town.
No, she shot that guy when the governor first killed Axel. She shot the guy who had snuck into the other tower.
Okay, I do kind of remember that. Yeah. Okay. Maybe we'll see more of that then. Does anybody have any spoilers, or does anybody want to talk about the preview for next week while we're in here?
Mr. Good, I'm not sure if this was a prediction that was spoilers or not, but he said that Tyrese is going to take revenge. And I seemed to say that Tyrese would kill somebody who was responsible for Karen's death.
Okay.
I didn't know if that was a straight prediction or a spoiler-filled prediction, but...
I think he might be sort of going off the preview for next week, but I think he's adding a little bit to it that wasn't in the preview, I think. Michael, do you have any insight? Nope.
Oh, I've got something.
Oh, what's that?
Do you remember in the comics? We're allowed to talk about the comics right now.
Yeah.
There was a big Tyrese and Rick fight in the jail.
Yeah. Yes,
and I thought maybe this death would cause that to happen. Maybe we'll see that, and that fight and some other things causes Rick to go even a little crazier. So maybe we'll see a super crazy Rick, or maybe we'll see that fight. I don't know.
Even more crazy than we've seen Rick before?
Maybe.
So in the comics, they go toe-to-toe and have a knockdown drag-out?
Oh, yeah.
Tyrese and Rick, oh, yes.
Any weapons involved, or is it just bare-fisted?
15 seconds to quarantine failure.
Pretty much bare fists. I think Rick gets knocked off of the second of the platform and gets hurt pretty bad.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, we're back. And at this point, we're to the final thought segment. Does anybody have anything that we missed? Anything that still needs to be covered in regards to this episode? Just jump right in. I guess we covered it.
Yeah, I'm just very interested. So is there a consensus? Maybe we could take a vote. Who thinks that someone murdered Karen and Sam? Not what? David. Karen and David, or do they think they just died and someone burned the bodies? I think that they were murdered.
I think they were murdered.
I think they were murdered.
I first thought it was a suicide, but now I think they weren't murdered. So I think
So
maybe
you were
they were.
you were like me then, Slow Cuties. You thought that maybe because I thought maybe Karen dragged the other guy out and then they both burned themselves.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, it didn't just look like that to me. I don't know why. It just looked like they did it to themselves. But then, but that she had blood, bloodline from her, and then there was
in the final
I don't know.
in the final stages of the disease, you're supposed to hemorrhage from your face. So I mean, they could be still alive but bleeding from their faces, or one of them could have died and be hemorrhaging everywhere, and that could account for the blood.
Yeah.
The blood trail.
That's why I thought maybe they weren't murdered because of the blood, but
okay.
If there would have been
And what was that you were saying, Michael?
Yeah, I think that the hemorrhage. I almost said hemorrhage. I don't know.
The hemorrhoid, yes.
It's a hemorrhoid trail.
Hemorrhoid trail, yeah. That's awful.
It's a homemade remedy for hemorrhoids that went terribly wrong. That's what occurred.
Yeah.
Okay. Did we all vote, or did somebody not vote yet on murder versus burn?
I think
is Matt back? No. John?
No, Matt is definitely not back. No,
we haven't heard from
still
John recently, no.
Yep, nope, into the ether. Okay. Well, in that case, as Karen Groot herself has written, careful observation is the only key to true and complete awareness. Your next tour of duty will last 1 week, and during that time you will observe The Walking Dead, a sociological experiment in progress. What is the nature of the experiment, you might ask? What are these subjects believe they are accomplishing as they struggle to fulfill their tasks? And perhaps you, as the observer, can find out. Each time your hate mail is filled with the fruits of your diligent observation, send it to station7thedore@gmail.com, and presto, it will be transported directly to us. Or you can leave us a voicemail at 252-377-1087. And we do encourage initial reactions, or even not initial reactions, and we'll happily play those at the start of our podcast. Also, welcome Walk of the Weeks, Roger Awards, or you can check us out at losttv-forum.com, or check out our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Station7thedore. And that's all I've got for tonight. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining me, you guys. Looking forward to seeing you again next week. And from all of us here at the Dharma Initiative, thank you. Namaste, and good luck.
Mr. Bad Robot.
Call recording has been completed.
Goodbye.
Well, it looks like my internet crashed, so that means the episode's over.
Dave.
You remember me, Sheriff? How's that prison working out for you? Not as sweet as the farm was, I bet. Why'd you ever leave there, anyway? Me? I'm still looking for a safe place. Still feels like I'm a long way from anywhere. I was just wondering, though, why did you take all those people in, Sheriff, when you wouldn't even take in me and old Tony? Looks like you got tired of all those hard decisions, though. You know the ones I mean. The ones you made when you walked over to Fat Tony and put one in his head. Guess you got awful tired of that. Am I right? 'Cause now I see you put away your guns and you're trying to clean those dirty hands of yours in the clean earth, raising pigs and growing crops. Sure wish you would have done that sooner. We're all the same, Sheriff. Just trying to stay one step ahead of that horde of lame-brained biters. Hey, looks like that prison ain't quite as safe and secure as you thought it was. Kind of looks like someone else has taken charge of all those hard decisions while you were busy pulling weeds. Guess you'll have to dig out those big guns of yours again. By the way, old Fat Tony used to be in a band back in Philly. And he penned a few choice lyrics about your present predicament. Go ahead, Tony, you scrawny-looking douchebag. Let the sheriff hear what you got to say. Everywhere I hear the sound of marching, charging feet, boys. 'Cause summer's here and the time is right for fleeing zombies in the street, boy. But what can a scared boy do except to flee to a faraway land? 'Cause in sleepy penitentiary town, there's just no place for zombie fleeing man. No! Hey, I think the time is right for prison purification. But where I live, the game to play is avoid the dead infection. Well then what can a scared boy do except to flee to a faraway land? 'Cause in sleepy penitentiary town, there's just no place for zombie fleeing man. No! Get away! Get away! They said my name is Craven Scaremonger. I'll shout and scream, I'll kill the tainted, I'll burn their corrupted corpses. Well, what can a scared boy do except to flee to a faraway land? 'Cause in sleepy penitentiary town, there's just no place for zombie fleeing man. No! Get down! Away! Get away! Well, where do you think we go from here, Sheriff?
You'll have to keep looking.
Keep looking. Where do you suggest we do that?
I don't know. I hear Nebraska's nice.
Nebraska. This guy.
Sign up in our town. If you live it up, you won't live it down. So she left Monte Rio's son, just like a bullet leaves a charcoal eyes and Monroe hips. She went and took that California trip. Oh, the moon was gold and her hair like wind. Said, don't look back, just come on, Jim. Oh, you got to hold on, hold on. You got to hold on, take my hand, standing right here, you got to hold on. Well, he gave her a dime store watch and a ring made from a spoon. Everyone's looking for someone to blame. When you share my bed, you share my name. Well, go ahead and call the cops. You don't meet nice girls in coffee shops. She said, baby, I still love you. Sometimes there's nothing left to do. Oh, but you got to hold on, hold on. Baby, gotta hold on and take my hand. Standing right here, you gotta hold on. Well, God bless your crooked little heart. St. Louis got the best of me. I miss your broken China voice. How I wish you were still here with me. Oh, you build it up, you wreck it down, then you burn your mansion to the ground. Oh, there's nothing left to keep you here. But when you're falling behind in this big blue world, oh, you've got to hold on, hold on. Baby, gotta hold on, take my hand, standing right here, gotta hold on. Down by the Riverside Motel, it's thin below and falling, and by a 99-cent store, she closed her eyes and started swaying. But it's so hard to dance that way when it's cold and there's no music. Oh, your old hometown so far away, but inside your head there's a record that's playing a song called Hold On, Hold On. Baby, gotta hold on to take my hand. Standing right there, gotta hold on. You gotta hold on, hold on. Baby, gotta hold on, take my hand. Standing right there, you gotta hold on. You gotta hold on, hold on. Baby, gotta hold on and take my hand. Standing right here, you gotta hold on. You gotta hold on, baby, gotta hold on and take my hand. Standing right here, you gotta hold on. 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 You gotta hold on, baby. You gotta hold on. You gotta hold on, you gotta hold on.